Get to see, what a person's made of, in those tough times, because winning's easy, but losing is when you see the true character come out.
Hello, and welcome to Matt Dunigan, His Story. This show is brought to you by the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. I'm Charles de Sainte Marie, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. Traditions in the CFL can typify a football team throughout its entire history. In Edmonton, at the position of quarterback, it is the lineage of the great warriors that is evident. Names like Parker, Wilkinson, Moon, Ham, and Allen come to mind. And then there's the quarterback who battled anyone who separated him from his goal, to win. Matt Dunigan is that warrior. He is battle-worn, tried and tested, and yet he refused to surrender as he continued to fight and bleed to the very end.
You're playing football. You shed the label of quarterback and you be a football player. And you do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's my mentality.
Dunigan, quick drop, looks to throw. He's going to run. Makes one defender miss. He's up to the 30. Finally tackled at the 35. First down.
That's the way I played the game. It's the only way. That's what I brought to the table.
Takes the snap. 5-step drop. Oh, he slips. He gets up. He hurls a bomb downfield. It's caught. Caught at the 25-yard line. What a play by Dunigan.
Too often I see people bailing and changing colors in adversity, and that's a true testament to somebody's character. Is when it's hitting the fan, how are you going to react?
Third down, game on the line. They need 6. Dunigan back to throw over the middle. It's caught. A leaping reception by Smith. The crowd goes wild.
Everybody's pampered. You need more blue-collar guys who just want to bring the lunch pail to work every day and bust their tails. Be the same in good times and in bad.
He runs, he's hit hard, he's slammed into the ground.
That's what I was willing to give. And it's the way I saw the game as to how it should be played, and I played it that way. That's like a punch-drunk fighter. You're going to find defeat and you can't show a weakness. And, that's the mentality. It was ground into me since my days growing up in Ohio and getting schooled in Texas in the mindset of how to approach the game physically and mentally. And that's just what you do, right? Grew up playing kill the guy with the ball in the front yard. You run around throwing people over the bushes, into trees, into the lamp posts, whatever, and you just play and kill the guy with the ball. Football was always part of the family. Growing up, going to the Cleveland Browns games, watching Bill Nelson, Leroy Kelly, Paul Warfield, watching the folks carting the liquor boxes, the suitcases into the Brown Stadium. It was, that's the way we rolled. That's the way we went to the football game. We moved to Dallas, and in the early 70s, and I believe it was 73. Block and a half away from the Dallas Cowboy practice field. Walt Garrison lived out our cul-de-sac, up the street, take a right, he was 4 doors down. That's where Walt Garrison lived. And I still have a pair of his old cleats. And, Cowboys were all over the place. My grandmother, who came and lived with us after my grandfather passed away, Marie, she would always go up to Tom Thumb. She'd be hanging out with Too Tall Jones. Harvey Martin, she'd always come back and say she was talking to these guys. And it was just, they lived, Tom Thumb, and then there was the Cowboy practice field. So I was in an environment that was conducive to being associated with football. It was all around me. Ever since I was in the 7th grade, I knew that I wanted to get an education through athletics. And it was a focus of mine. And my folks worked hard to give us the things that we needed. But I just knew that they couldn't afford to send me to university, so I had to help out in some way, shape, or form. So that was a focus of mine, was to get an education, free education through athletics, and it happened to be football. Grew up throwing the ball with my mother, and my dad. My dad was working, and he's working. I threw the ball with my mom a lot, and she will take the credit for teaching me how to throw. But I don't care who did. I just appreciate the hands on the other end, because I like throwing whatever it was. right? Whether it was a rock, whether it was a baseball, snowball, basketball, I'm chunking it the length of the basketball court, just loving throwing. I was fairly decent at throwing. I just couldn't do anything else. I didn't have the size, didn't have the speed. I could just throw the football. And take a workmanlike approach to the game, a mentality, a hard-nosed mentality from kill the guy with the ball. And my folks, my mother, and just growing up on Ohio, hotbed of football, Texas. It was just a tremendous opportunity to get that education. In Ohio, I wanted to be, play for Woody. I wanted to be a Buckeye, right? And then my dreams changed when I moved to Texas, and I wanted to play for Darrell Royal at the University of Texas.
Dunigan from the 24-yard line takes the snap, drops back, throws to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown, and that will do it. That pass has broken Terry Bradshaw's touchdown record. What a night for Matt Dunigan. Dunigan back to throw, sets up, fires, touchdown, Bulldogs. From the 2-yard line, Dunigan short drop, fires to the back.
I have no idea. Just got my head down, trying to make it happen. I have no idea what's going on, really. Just can't even throw a spiral in warm-ups before games. I'm just trying to figure it all out. I had the good fortune of being involved with that team before it was dismantled, because I was taught so much from my teammates about how to approach the game professionally, both on and off the football field. Warren Moon was not only making a name for himself in an Edmonton uniform, he was making a name for a race. And he was also teaching me how to handle the game with grace and style, both on and off the field. More importantly, off the field, because Warren didn't teach me many things on the field. He taught me the importance of composure off the field and giving time to everybody, which I already understood. But when I saw Warren and the success that he was having and how he handled himself with class, I wanted to emulate him in so many different ways. Not only with his ability, he was 6'3", 220 plus, threw a beautiful spiral just about every time, was deadly accurate, and seemed to be all the time composed in the pocket no matter what was going on. And so I want to emulate that for sure. But more importantly, I wanted to emulate him as a professional away from the game. It was good in the green and gold for 5 years.
Dunigan straight back from center, sets up in the pocket. He's firing, pitching deep into the end zone, touchdown, Eskimos.
We were 8-8 in '83.
Dunigan back, hit as he throws, launches it to the end zone, touchdown, Eskimos. Dunigan dancing in the pocket, has a target, launching it deep into the Argo secondary, caught on the fly to the end zone, touchdown. Dunigan back, launching it deep into the back of the end zone, a great over-the-shoulder grab, touchdown. Dunigan back, has a look, go to the near sidelines, that ball is caught, he turns, wheels upfield.
And we got better the next year in '84.
Dunigan back pedals from center, he sets up, he's pitching deep, has the target wide open at the 30, makes the catch, at the 20, at the 10, touchdown, Edmonton. Dunigan hands off, touchdown, Eskimo.
We got better next year in '85.
Dunigan scrambling, throwing it deep, looking down by midfield, that ball is caught, great grab down to the 40.
Our record continually got better, and we went to the Cup in '86, got thrashed by Hamilton. I think I was sacked 11 times that game. Had my knee and my elbow operated on after that game.
Dunigan steps up, he's hit as he releases the ball. Dunigan is clobbered in the backfield, the ball comes loose. Dunigan throws on the run, the ball intercepted.
And then '87, we win it. was a tradition. It was a mindset that was passed down from one generation to the next, and continually is. And that's could be in jeopardy this year for the first time in 34 years. But the fact is, it's a tradition and a mindset, and you have to live up to those expectations and fill those shoes. And I was very fortunate to be taught by the best, and that's never left me. Never left me in my approach to the game today. BC was a continuation, understanding of what a professional football player is all about. I knew I had the skills. I knew I had the skills to play the game.
Dunigan scrambling in the backfield, running right. Now he reverses field, being pursued by the Stampeders. Dunigan on the move, throws on the run, throws into the end zone. It's a touchdown! BC Lions! What a play! Lions hand off. No, wait, the flea flicker back to Dunigan. He picks the ball up. He throws it into the end zone. Touchdown! Lions! Dunigan is back, steps up in the pocket, throwing downfield on the seam route. Great fingers to grab. Touchdown! Lions! Lions looking for the score. Lines are down. Dunigan marks out signal, takes the snap, lunges to the end zone. Touchdown! Dunigan is back. Quick release on a looking ball is caught at the 35, at the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown!
The game didn't change. Color uniform did. The same things that applied in an Edmonton Eskimo uniform, and the consistency and the things that were necessary to be successful as a team, both on and off the field, all those things continued to apply. And what I did was I took what I knew from becoming an Eskimo and being an Eskimo for 5 years, took it to BC, made it work there.
Dunigan passes, and it's caught. Dunigan throws it deep. Touchdown! Dunigan back to throw, sets up, fires to the end zone. Touchdown!
It was a learning experience, and I learned that, hey, it didn't matter what color uniform. I was going to take the things I learned at Edmonton, take it wherever I went, and approach it like a professional, both on and off the field, get the guys together, make sure that we would live and die for each other, and take a Warriors mentality out there and do whatever it takes to win. And that was another step forward in that understanding of what it's about to be a professional. It's August 2nd, 1996. I've been hit harder 100 times, and it's just that day when I got hit, I fumbled the ball, got up, scrambled, and going for the ball, I got ear-holed again, and on the same play, and I was already out on my feet, I think, from a couple series before.
This does not look good for Matt Dunigan.
Felt like for the first time in 27 years of playing the game, that my armor was just split wide open, and it felt like I was exposed. And at that time, I didn't need 6 neurosurgeons and every other kind of doctor telling me that my career was over with. I knew it was over.